Welcome to the World of Wrestling podcast. Here today to discuss about MMA news and rumors, episode number 18. I have a really good story going on in the MMA world of UFC. We got René de Ritter is actually going to be facing Brandon Allen in this matchup. Anthony Hernandez was originally scheduled to fight. He, I believe, got a injury leading up to this during training, so he is no longer competing in this matchup. Says here that Anthony Hernandez has withdrawn from the UFC Fight Night 262 main event, and de Ritter has a new opponent. Hernandez out of the October 18th headliner at Rogers Arena in Vancouver, Canada, for undisclosed reasons. Brandon Allen will step in and take on de Ritter. I believe Brandon Allen did face Anthony Hernandez at one point, and Anthony Hernandez mopped the floor with him. So it's kind of surprising he's taking his spot when he already lost to Anthony Hernandez in the past. So it's kind of interesting on that. I think de Ritter is going to have no issues with Brandon Allen. I think de Ritter is a very good wrestler and jiu-jitsu guy. My only concern with de Ritter in this matchup against Brandon Allen is fairly decent on the feet. He definitely showed that against Marvin Vettori, I believe his name was, in his last fight. And he tore him up. I mean, he was a bloody mess, and so on. So Brandon Allen has good stand-up fighting skills. His wrestling is pretty decent, but to the level of de Ritter, I think de Ritter is far better than Brandon Allen. Cardio-wise, I think de Ritter might be slightly better, but I have to go back and watch his fights to see how he held up in further rounds. But de Ritter is a fantastic performer. Coming out of one championship fighting, he went from most people that come from these other organizations, they generally don't end up well. I mean, look at the last couple of guys that came from Bellator/PFL. I honestly think that de Ritter shouldn't have an issue winning this fight. I'd say this fight is probably going to go to a decision. I got enough respect on Brandon Allen. I think he can last the whole way through. But I don't know. It's going to be an interesting fight. I think Anthony Hernandez would have beaten de Ritter, though, without question. So UFC officials announced the change Monday, which was September 15th. That's when this article was released. I just haven't gotten a chance to talk about it with you guys. And de Ritter, 21-2 in the MMA, 4-0 in UFC, has quickly climbed the ladder in the middleweight division, winning his first 3 fights by stoppage and picking up a split decision nod over former champ Robert Whittaker in the last outing. The main event result against Whittaker extended his winning streak to 5. Brandon Allen, who's 25-7 overall in the MMA and 13-4 in UFC, will look to take advantage of the short notice opportunity and get himself back to the upper tier of the 185-pound division. He defeated Marvin Vettori at UFC 318 to snap a 2-fight losing skid against Hernandez. Yeah, so he did lose to Hernandez and Nasruddin Amimov. Not long after the news was announced, Fluffy issued an apology on Instagram. He didn't specify the nature of his injury. So he did get an injury, it just wasn't explained as to what that is. They kind of, in this article, they go over the entire card and so forth. So that's pretty much all there is to it at this point. I think this is going to be an interesting fight. Very hard fight to call because, like I said, the stand-up fighting game, I think, goes to Brandon Allen, but the wrestling and jiu-jitsu, I think, is better on DeRitter's side. I think DeRitter has better skills than Brandon Allen, and I think that is DeRitter's path of victory. I think it's his path to victory always. But Brandon Allen, I think, could win this fight. I do feel like he could, but I lean a little bit more to DeRitter in this one because of the wrestling side of things. And as long as DeRitter can avoid the punching and the kicks and so forth on the stand-up game, and he can get this fight to the ground as soon as possible each round, I think he has a very good chance of winning this by a decision. Even possibly, I'll even say maybe a submission. But Brandon Allen, I got enough faith in him. I think he is one of the top 10, top tier guys in the UFC, at least in the middleweight division. And I think he could probably last all the way to the end. On the other side of things, DeRitter could get knocked out. I believe DeRitter has been knocked out. Let me go to Tapology real quick to see his wins and losses. But I do believe DeRitter is actually prone to getting knocked out. Give me one moment. Trying to get this. I don't know why it's not highlighted. There we go. One sec. So, DeRitter has been knocked out twice. He has been beaten by knockout. And that was all in one championship fighting. So yeah, I honestly think that's the pathway for Brandon Allen is by knockout, which could happen. I mean, this is a very iffy type of fight. It all depends on how DeRitter does taking Brandon Allen to the ground. If Brandon Allen can avoid the takedowns, I think Brandon Allen could win the fight outright. If you were to bet on this fight, I would say wait and see how the fight's going live. And if the odds are reasonable to bet on, I'd throw down a bet on either side, honestly. But overall, I think this is going to be a fun, entertaining fight, despite the fact Anthony Hernandez has been removed from this fight because of injury. So this is going to be something to look forward to. This is a card that has a lot of good names, very noteworthy names that I've seen multiple times. So yeah, this is definitely a fight card. When is this fight card taking place, by the way? I'm just curious real quick. Give me one sec. This fight takes place on October 18th, so there's going to be the UFC pay-per-view event that's going to come up. So yeah, there's some good fights on here. We got Hyung Sung Park facing Bruno Silva. I think that is a guaranteed pick, a guaranteed bet that you could go for, depending on the odds. But yeah, I think Hyung Sung Park is going to win that fight without question. That's definitely a bet to throw money down on. Jasmine just Davis versus Manion Fiat. That's going to be a good fight. I don't know who I'd pick in that one. Mike Malot's facing Kevin Holland. Oh, brother. You know who I'm taking. Mike Malott all the way. I just hope he doesn't make the same dumb mistake that he did against Neil Magny. Danny Barlow. I think Danny Barlow is a good pick to go with for a bet on him. Saying that these are all straight bets, I wouldn't do a parlay because one of them could end up failing and not go through, right? But yeah, I think there's a lot of good fights on here. Tough fights to call too, here and there. There's some fights that are easy to call, and some fights are just worth just sitting through and watching unfold in front of you while you watch it take place. So pretty good card. I like the card for October 18th. That's going to be a fun fucking event. It's taking place in Rogers Arena. So that is pretty much it, guys. I will be back with another episode of MMA news and rumors, as well as boxing this week. Before this week is up, so I can deliver the content I promise you guys, besides just pro wrestling. So anyway, guys, at this time, you know what to do. Hit the like button if you like the video. Hit the subscribe button if you're not already subscribed to the channel. And leave a comment down below. I'll definitely get back to you on that. Thank you guys very much for watching. I'll speak to you again soon. Bye.